All right, today we're doing something a little different. We're not just going to talk about theories. We're going to tear apart a real-world business blueprint. We're going to analyze exactly how one digital creator built a six-figure income, basically from scratch, and what you can learn from her strategy.
You know, this is the big question, right? In a world that's just flooded with content, how do you possibly go from zero to a sustainable business? Well, it's not about luck. It's about having the right plan.
So to get those answers, we're going to put the career of digital creator Mary Konopelka right under the microscope. By looking at her strategy, what she's selling, and her financial results, we can basically reverse engineer a modern blueprint for success online.
Okay, here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with her story, then get into her platform strategy. We'll look at what she's actually selling, which is authenticity itself, and the person behind it all. And then, we'll get to the numbers to see how this all translates into real-world success. Let's dive in.
So let's kick things off with Section 1, a modern success story. And it's so important to get this up front. Her success wasn't some fluke or a single viral moment. As we're about to see, it's a masterclass in deliberate, methodical growth, built one subscriber at a time.
So who exactly is Mary Konopelka? She's a 24-year-old digital creator, originally from Russia, who now runs her whole business from Poland. And these details, they're not just trivia. They are absolutely crucial to the authentic brand she's built. She is the perfect example of a modern digital entrepreneur. Think about it. This isn't about getting a deal with big publishers or studios. Nope. This is about building a business where the platforms are your storefront and your most valuable currency is that direct, trusted relationship you have with your audience. Okay, on to Section 2, the multi-platform blueprint. This is where we really get into the nuts and bolts of her business. How does she use every single tool in the toolkit to build this cohesive and profitable online presence? Let's break it down.
What's really fascinating here is just how diverse her digital footprint is. I mean, she's got a huge presence on X for bringing people in, a dedicated community hub on Reddit, and her core base on direct monetization platforms like Fansly and OnlyFans. This isn't just, throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks. It's a super carefully constructed ecosystem where every single part has a job to do.
And this slide, it illustrates her strategy perfectly. Seriously, think of it like a funnel. X is that wide open top, just grabbing as much awareness as possible. Reddit is kind of the middle of the funnel, where she nurtures that loyal community. Platforms like FickThap are for discovery. And see, all roads lead right down to the narrow end, those subscription platforms that are the absolute core of her business.
That whole strategic funnel brings us right into Section 3, authenticity as the product. Because, once you get people to your platform, you've got to offer them something of real value. We've seen where she operates, now let's dig into what her audience is actually paying for. The analysis we looked at puts it super plainly. She is offering more content per dollar than most creators at her level. And that right there is a classic business move. You compete on value. But how does she actually pull that off? Well, it all starts with the price, just $12 a month. In a market this competitive, that price point is an incredibly low barrier to entry. It basically makes the decision to subscribe an impulse buy, and it just removes all the friction for anyone who's even a little bit interested.
And for that $12, subscribers get instant access to a massive back catalog of over 1,500 media files. So it's not just about getting one new piece of content. It's like you're unlocking an entire vault. That kind of overwhelming value is an incredibly powerful tool for keeping people subscribed long-term.
But listen, it's not just about the sheer volume, it's the type of content. By featuring her real relationship and leaning into a specific niche, like cosplay, she creates this totally unique brand of authenticity, and that builds a powerful parasocial connection that honestly acts like a competitive moat. It's something other creators just can't copy.
This leads us perfectly into Section 4. The person behind the screen. In today's creator economy, the line between a brand and a person is, well, it's blurry. Let's take a look at how Mary Konopelka's real-world personality is one of her most powerful business assets. This slide really peels back the layers. She's not just a creator. She's a huge gamer. She reads psychological thrillers. She's a home cook. By sharing these genuine, authentic parts of her life, she turns followers into a real community. And that community, that's what drives long-term subscriptions and rock-solid loyalty.
So we've covered the strategy, the product, and the personality. Now for the final section, and maybe the one you've been waiting for, success by the numbers. Does all this stuff actually add up to a real, viable business? And the answer is a massive, resounding yes.
Based on our analysis, her estimated annual income is somewhere between $125,000 and $165,000. Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't some big corporation. This is a business run by a 24-year-old independent creator. That is the power of executing the right blueprint.
And that six-figure income? It is not built on a single pillar. This breakdown shows a super diversified revenue model. She's got recurring subscription income from multiple platforms, and on top of that, variable streams like custom requests, tips, and pay-per-view content. This isn't just a business. It's a really resilient financial engine.
So the key takeaway here is that her success is absolutely not an accident. It's not because one video went viral overnight. No. This income is the predictable results of a deliberate, consistent strategy that she's executed patiently over a long, long time. It's all about process, not luck. So, what are the big principles we can pull from this whole blueprint? Okay, number 1, build a purposeful multi-platform funnel. 2, compete by offering overwhelming value. 3, make your authenticity the one thing nobody else can copy. 4, choose consistency over just chasing viral hits. And 5, diversify your income streams to build a business that can actually weather any storm.
Which leaves us with one final thought. We've just torn apart one successful digital business, right? But the principles, a multi-channel funnel, a value-driven product, an authentic brand, these are universal. So the question is, are we just looking at a one-off case study here, or is this the new blueprint for what it actually means to be an entrepreneur today?